There's only one of a kind. We think there's only one. And then later on, it's always discovered that there's more. There's always more that's not revealed to us through our instrument, through our senses, and then our instrumentation. What's becoming more, I think, apparent in cosmology is the potential possibility of there being parallel universes or multiverses. So, which is bringing about the other problem, and that is that if there is more than one universe, that, okay, we absolutely know for a fact that this is one universe right now. It's just one. We only know of a finite, limited sphere of data that we have access to through modern instrumentation. But we don't have a record of or impressions of other universes. We don't have any physical data. We don't have any actual real hard data to suggest that there are parallel universes. But what we have is we have information that's been presented, that data that we've collected that suggests that it is huge. It is so enormously large in its extent that whatever you think is, whatever you can imagine that is physically possible to happen within the laws of physics can or could happen, given the scale and the immensity and the size and but we can't really see that, but it looks like it appears that way. So what's happening is that there's no intelligent designer, there's no intention behind everything. It's not being planned out or directed or guided through an intelligence, which that's what, we've come to the conclusion that there is no God that's here, that's behind everything, that's directing everything, guiding everything. There's no purpose, essentially. So what we are is we are just this arrangement of electrical chemical activity in a neurological system that's an evolved system, and that we see as we are a subjective experiencer that's experiencing our living alive, being alive as a subject moment by moment, that we assume that we are only going to be here one time, that this is the only time we've ever existed, that it could never happen again, it could not have happened before, and it could never happen again. Well, I'm disputing that. I don't think that's the truth. I think what will happen or has happened is that we have each individual person has been existing at some other time in the past and will exist again in the future. Now, we can't remember that because as I've said before in other videos, I don't believe that there is a ghost or a phantom soul that contains our personality. Our soul leaves and then transmits, like floats out of our dying corpse and floats into an infant and is born. That's what I'm not saying. I'm saying is that the pattern that we are electrical chemical pattern of neurological impulses, billions, trillions of them. That's a finite pattern, and that we are a deterministic system. We're a mechanism. We're a machine that's continuously generating cerebral neurological impulses, pulsing micropulses of electrical chemical energy in that's maintaining our that's maintaining our personality moment by moment through brain activity. So we are a brain, and the universe we perceive is in our brains, which objectively there is a universe outside of us. It's a solid, real universe that is still existing when we're not here, or that existed before we were here. What I am saying is that in my other videos I quoted Alan Watts, is that Alan Watts had a problem with that when he's falling asleep and he's not dreaming. There is no time for him, but he knows that he'll wake up the next morning, or we know we will wake up. When we sleep at night, we don't lay there with our eyes closed going, oh, Mo, it's boring, it's so dark here, or I'm just laying here in this bed and I'm dark and I'm bored, and when's hurry up, when's time going to go by so I can wake up or start dreaming again. It's not that way. We don't have any perception of the passage of time. So if we were before, and then there was all this other universes or whatever physically happened, in the fine tuning wasn't finely tuned in such a way as to bring about an evolutionary being that evolves again, that's similar in structure and chemically, electrically, genetically a duplicate of us, could have happened before and could happen again in another time. But in between not existing and existing again, in that if this could happen now, who's to say it could not happen again? So it's physically possible. It's within the laws of physics to emerge in the future. It's just we won't. You as an individual, you might as well be a different person, but you will still be the unique you that senses this you-ness that you are, and the me-ness, the I-ness will still be. But there won't be any. Well, I remember when I went to high school, when I went to grade school, you will be born again and have to re-experience and so the physical properties, the physical processes that exist here and now in this world, in this lifetime, given an infinite possibility of infinity within the scope of infinity, it is physically possible to come back again. But I think what the atheistic scientists, the transhumanists, are hoping for is to be able to freeze the person so that they don't have that chance of coming back again and being stuck in a not so nice future life. They want to be able to control their own fate and be permanently preserved as an individual I-ness in some kind of an artificial form, so that there is no random fluctuation of energy in a future universe that forms them. So they have to live out an entire lifetime of maybe very unpleasant experiences. But it's just being thrown into a random haphazard universe that's amoral, doesn't care. It's just energy that's blind energy that it's repeating cycles again and again and again and again, and boom, poof, you're there. So if you can upload, if science and technology, if the future of humanity is to develop an AI, that AI being friendly AI, good AI, that's benevolent, that intends for the best possible situations for sentience, then it could phase out biological life, ethically, morally phase it out, use in an ethical way, and then just have everything as an artificial life, artificial experiencing, artificial humans, artificial consciousnesses in a machine matrix. Then there wouldn't have to be pain and suffering and deprivation and discomfort. It could be a play world of just continuous, adventures and great things happening, huge parties and vistas of enormous beauty and comforts and pleasures, and just living beings that are sentient beings experiencing pleasant things, happy things. They'd be, So I think the hope of the scientists, those that aren't the ethalists, the ones that are atheists that aren't ethalists, because if you're a real atheist, you're going to become an ethalist, I think. So if you're hopeful about that somehow biology is going to achieve this great, wonderful future utopia that's all going to be artificially driven, artificial machine on electrical machines of somehow, then they can keep bettering themselves, improving till it's like a paradise forever. It's heaven in a machine is what it is. And I think that's what's being hoped for. I think that there's a lot of transhumanists that hope for either freezing their brain now so that in the future they can get it thought out and have it nano-engineered back to where it was, or uploaded on a machine in the future, to avoid having an accidental rebirth or an accidental reemergence in just an amoral universe without any goals, plans, designs, or intentions.